Okay, thank you for the opportunity for me. I'm Adelina Hidayah as the discussion one. So I want to give comment, suggestion, and questions to Kak Putri. So I have read your proposal. So I found many grammatical error such as the use of article, plural or singular noun, verb form, and also punctuation. Uh, and also I suggest you to be consider of all those things. I suggest you to use Grammarly to make sure that you have done of all your proposal. And then I also have read your PowerPoint. So in my opinion, you already prepared well the PowerPoint. You also uh, make just the main point so the reader can get interesting to the what do you want to deliver to the reader. And then in your references, I think I found some misuse such as the full name of the writer. So I suggest you to look back to the references and revise it. Okay?
Yes.
Okay. And then in your research background, you put some citations in the end of the paragraph, right? I suggest you to put your understanding uh, I mean your understanding ideas regarding to the citations that you took. So after you cite some citation in the paragraph, don't let it in the last sentences in a paragraph. So give your opinions about what uh, what the researchers told you and what you take from the statements. That's my suggestion. And also here, I was wondering, in types of code switching, you said that you stated that there are three types of code switching, right? Hello?
Yes.
Okay. So in your code switching, you said that the last code switching, the last types of code switching that is step switching was the least code switching types that the teacher used. You did not mention any what the teacher used. So you should explain. So what is the teacher use? I don't know. The reader do not know what is the teacher use. What do you mean by this term? So that is the first question. Okay, this is the second question from me. In page 9, you can open your document in page 9. You said that the main problem of this case is because students don't have enough confidence to performing or interacting. So you stated that the problem is confidence, but in your background you stated from Puspitasari 2017 and also Rahmawati 2018 that's the problem is about uh, lack of understanding, in confidence, lack of motivation. So I think that is contrasting. And also you can see in the same page in page 9 in line 10 it's about to ensure blah 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 blah. So I think the problem that you said about the students confidence is different with the 10th line. That's about the purpose of your research. So I think that is contrasting. So I was curious, what is your real problem, your main problem, and also what is the main purpose you want to conduct. That is my questions. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Miss Adelia, for comments, suggestion, and question already given by the first discussion. Now it's time for the presenter to answer and respond to the questions.
Okay, thank you, the moderator. Uh, Thank you for Adelia for your comments, suggestions, and questions. I will revise my grammatical errors and some mistakes, and I would like to answer your question about the sentence that is state that teacher use. Actually, that is uh, text switching is a kind of code switching, and so do the intrasentential code switching. That the mean of teacher use is referred to text switching that is the least type of code switching that teacher use in the classroom. Text switching is the uh, the use of phrase of a word that from another language that tag in the conversation. Uh, Meanwhile, about the intrasentential code switching is when the speaker switch the sentence like that between first language and the second language. Um, then mm, about the ambiguous in page 9, I think that's my mistake because I didn't state the problem clearly and that makes you confused. I think I will revise the paragraph or the line to to make the the problem clearer to you.
Okay.
Right, the questions already answered by the presenter. For the first discussion, can you accept the answer or do you want to add more, Miss Adelia?
Okay, moderator, I want to add more.
All right, please just add more and just please ask.
Okay, thank you. So, Kak Putri, after you explain to me what is the means of text switching, I hope that you will explain about what is the text switching and what is the teacher use. So you cannot just explain about the types that the teacher use. So you can explain it in the terms of types of code switching. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
All right, is that enough, Miss Adelia?
Yes, that's enough.
All right. If everything is clear now, do you want to add more,
No?
Miss Putri Eka Meitasari?
No, thank you.
All
That's,
right.
that's enough.
Okay. If everything is clear now, we would like to welcome the second discussion to deliver comments, suggestions, and also questions. So please remember to wait for my instruction before answering and also asking. Now, please welcome Miss Alfia Mary Mariani. You can start now.
Okay, thank you for the moderator. First, I would like to say thank you for the opportunity that already given to me. I really appreciate for your presentation, Kak Putri. You doing your presentation so well, and I'm so grateful for being your second discussant. And also, I already read your proposal and your PowerPoint. Overall, you already have a such good proposal and PowerPoint. And I would like to give my comments, suggestions, and questions because after read your proposal, I already have some points from your proposal and move to the comments and suggestions and questions. So for the first is about your research title. In part A from your research title, I see that your research title is different from your research title on your cover. I just wondering why it could be different. Maybe you forget some points in your point A. I think I'll move to the research background. Uh, in your first paragraph, in your second paragraph, at the end of your sentences, you didn't put a punctuation there. So please pay attention for using punctuation to end your statement or your argument. Next to the research questions in number 2, uh, I just wondering that you didn't put a verb after a subject. So your questions in number 2 is how code switching influence students' interactive speaking ability, and you didn't put a verb after subject code switching there. So actually your research question should be how code switching is influence on students' interactive speaking ability, and so on. And for your terminology, if I'm not mistaken, you already explained about code switching and interactive speaking ability, right?
Yes.
And if I'm not mistaken, in your proposal, you explain the definition about code switching is quite long. I suggest you, in terminology, you just give an explanation briefly. And also, I suggest you to give an explanation about is interactive and speaking ability. So you need to separate about the definition or the explanation about interactive and speaking abilities. And also move to the literature review. I found that still the same problem. You didn't put punctuation in the first paragraph after the sentences were about expert opinion. The first one is about Himes in 1962. Here you didn't put punctuation full stop, but here you use comma. But you continue the sentence using pronoun it. I just wondering that it should be full stop, not comma. So you need to revise it later. And then still in the literature review, for the expert opinion, the name of the expert is Our Batch in 1993. Still the same, you didn't put punctuation here. Okay, so please pay more attention on using punctuation. And also for the benefit in your literature review, you put the benefits for teaching code switching, right?
Yes.
And if I'm mistaken, I found that it is written based on expert opinions. Is it true?
Yes.
But I found here that you have citation wrong here. If you want to take an expert opinions that cited in someone's research, you have to write it according to Hilda et al. As cited in blah 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 blah. So you don't need to put break out here. Okay. And also I found that you uh, didn't use APA 6 edition guideline in citation or in citing expert opinion. In part, I remember in what section, but this is about expert opinion. The name of the expert is Puspawati. You wrote here according to Puspawati, blah, 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 blah. I found that here you didn't put the year after the name of the expert. So, as I know that in APA 6 edition, after we write or we wrote the name of the expert, we need to put the year after the name. So I think you need to revise it later. And then for the next is for the data analysis, still the same. For the expert opinion, you wrote here is Brown and Clark. Still the same, you didn't follow the APA 6 edition guideline. You didn't put the year after the name of the expert. If you want to use their argument, but you want to put their name and the year, you can change their name by the pronouns they. And for the tools of data collections, you have statement and field notes. Is blah 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 blah. I think that it is not appropriate to start a sentence using a conjunction. I think you need to change the word and here with the word therefore, moreover, and so on. And also for the references, uh, please more attention on using APA 6 editions because I found that for two last sources on your references, you wrote the title is in italic. So as I know that the italic one is using for the journal of the sources. And I still have, oh, wait, oh, okay. I also found some typos in your proposals, but I'm not sure on what page, but I already listed the words that you, that typos in your proposals. There are 5 words. First is oftenly, second, behavior, informations, instruments, and dimensions. Last but not least, on your literature review, you mentioned about the functions of code switching and in part B, interactive speaking about the complexity. I see that you already wrote the functions and the complexity by numbering them, right? Uh, I see that is it better for you if you separate it after you wrote the complexity, you use punctuation, then you numbering one and next to not. I mean, you have to separate it, so it will be presentable, I think. Okay, I think that's all for my comment and suggestions. Let's move to my questions. So actually, I have questions related to your research proposal. So first is about how do you believe that code switching can influence on improving students' interactive speaking ability? And for the second one, for your appendixes, just wondering that if you created by yourself all the questions of your questionnaire and your questions in your interview sections. So I think that's all for me. So I will give the time to the moderator.
All right, thank you, Miss Mary, for the comments, suggestion, and question. Miss Putri, you might start the response to respond the question, comments, and suggestion from the second discussions. The time is yours.
All right, thank you, Alfia Mary, for your comments, suggestions, and questions. Uh, I will I will revise my mistakes on my proposal. Uh, and now I would like to answer your question. First, why I believe the code switching will improve students' speaking interactive, right? Mm, Actually, in my research, I already read many journals that stated that code switching is give benefits to students in learning English. But uh, in my research, I'm not believe switching will improve students' interactive speaking ability, but I want to investigate how code switching influence students uh, in English class uh, in their interactive speaking ability, like that. Uh, and for the next questions, actually, I had a mistake. I did a mistake in appendix because I still attached the questionnaire. Meanwhile, I decided to remove the questionnaire because I don't think it will work to my research. But I forgot to delete it. But for the interview questions, I made it by myself that the because the interview will be semi-structured. So when I interview the students, uh, I can modify the questions. So I will get the data according to my purpose. Is, is that clear to you?
Oh, all right. That actually, I get your point for the question number one and for the question number two. So I just want to remind you again, if you didn't want to use the questionnaire, better if you remove it
Yes.
for your next proposal. So I think you need to revise it. Thank you, Kak
Thank you.
Putri.
All right. Is everything clear from both of the speaker?
Yes.
Yeah,
Right. So far, so good.
good.
So far, so
All right then. It becomes the last session of this seminar. So I would like to thank you for all of the participants went smoothly. We do hope that knowledge that we get for today from this seminar can be useful and beneficial for us in the future. That's the end of our seminar today. Thank you for your nice attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Waalaikumsalam
warahmatullahi
warahmatullahi
wabarakatuh.
wabarakatuh. Thank you.